Over. Hey, Gary DeHart with Insightful Accountant. I am here at the Syft booth at XeroCon 2022, speaking with, I have to read it, Vangelis Kyriazis. How
Nailed it.
Yes! All right, so we really just want to give our audience just kind of a high level of, what is Syft, what do you do, and then our audience is primarily accounting professionals, right?
Awesome.
The public side.
100%.
And so we want to talk about what's in it for them, why do they use you, and what's in it for their customers, right? So we can just kind of hit each one of those, and then we'll, I'm sure, come up with another question or two.
Sounds
out
good.
of that. So
Appreciate it, Gary. Good to be on.
Glad
Cool.
to have you here. So, number one, you said you founded it 6 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
6 years next month. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Almost happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's great. We're working on number 10.
Wow,
and our 10th will be June of next year.
Okay.
So,
Close as well.
yes, exciting
Decade.
times.
First
Exciting
decade
time.
done.
Yeah, it's like a long but short time, right?
Yes,
I mean,
it
like
goes
6
quickly.
years. You're like, I'm sure there's days where like this day needs to be over. It's too long. Right? So, all right, but I strayed. So, Syft, what is Syft? What do you
Awesome.
guys do?
Syft Analytics, we're in the reporting space
Okay.
for accountants in practice. Essentially taking your accounting data and turning it into business intelligence. So that's insights across customers, products, account level insights, and really making that accounting data come to life. Lots of visualizations, lots of trend and seasonality. And if we can nail down sort of the historic stuff, it's easier to perhaps predict the future.
Okay. And is the product primarily used by the accounting professional, like the public accounting professional, or the end user?
Typically public accounting professional.
Okay.
At the end of the day there, we're solving many problems. You've got, let's say, 100 clients that you want to report to, ensure that your compliance work is done and deliver a report evidencing that, for example.
Okay.
Perhaps there's some ad hoc forecasting requirements, or you just want to get some oversight into the data quality in those underlying clients. So is the data correct? Are there any anomalies? What can we sort of tidy up from a bookkeeping review perspective?
Yeah.
And then go on to the reporting side.
Okay.
So accountants are our customers, accountants and bookkeepers, and really helping them sort of solve that end of the accounting value chain. We've done all the work, we've done all the bookkeeping, but let's deliver an awesome report to our clients to show them what's been done.
And very visual.
Very visual.
You said, right?
And I think even as accountants, yes, we can look at a P&L in a balance sheet, but a graph tells a different story. You
Right.
can see trend and seasonality in a graphical representation.
Okay. And how did you end up starting this? And what drew you to start it?
Good question. My roots are actually an accountant myself.
Okay.
So over in South Africa, we've got something called chartered accountants, similar to CPA here in the US. Built my own practice, and from that, we were taking this data from Xero, from QuickBooks, we were putting it into Excel, we were building graphs, we were doing all this analytics in Excel, and that would be quite time consuming. It would take an hour to two per client per month. And if something changes, you have to start that whole process again.
Right.
So why not go straight from that raw accounting data in our general ledger and go straight to that sort of end product of like an awesome report, and we can always update that very quickly.
Okay. And so you said in South Africa, but you have U.S. customers, right? Obviously,
Definitely.
we're at XeroCon US.
100%.
Tell us a little bit about that, just because you mentioned it to me, but share with our audience kind of how that works as far as customer service. How do I reach you? When do I reach you? How do I know I'm going to get you? You're in South Africa, kind of thing.
Definitely. So we're super committed to our US customer base. We're really trying to localize the product for them as well, which we've done over the years. We've got a dedicated US team that gives sales and support up to 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So you've got real-time support, that's sub 2-minute response time, up to about 5 p.m. Eastern. The team's always available then for demos, onboarding, things from that perspective. So we're a very high-touch business, and we work with lots of accountants every day. So the team's quite highly sort of skilled in the sort of accounting nuances that go into reporting.
Okay.
On the other side of it, we're rolling out something called Syft Campus, which is all around education. So that would be for maybe training staff, onboarding new staff, and ensuring they know how to use our tools.
Okay.
And then we also SOC Type 1 and Type 2 compliance in the SOC 2 realm. So we take data security very seriously, and it's something we've doubled down on, especially for our larger US sort of enterprise firms.
Gotcha. Okay. And you mentioned, so we're at XeroCon, obviously you work with Xero.
100%.
And previously you told me QBO.
Yes.
Any
correct.
other general ledgers that you're working with?
We do work
actively?
with one of the Sage products, but it's mainly the UK and South African versions.
Okay.
You can import data from Excel in sort of a trial balance form, but typically QuickBooks Online and Xero at the moment. We're considering FreshBooks, and then a little bit more of like the mid-market realm in like the coming months.
Okay.
We've dabbled a little bit with QuickBooks Desktop. For now, it's still like a trial balance import, not a direct feed.
Right. Well, and with that, with Intuit's recent announcements, somewhat recent announcements about how they're changing pricing on desktop,
True.
there's a lot where I would say 5 years ago, and Intuit has always said from the start, oh, we're not getting rid of desktop, but we're going to kind of force you to, seems to me, force you to choose that it might be best to be on QBO anyway.
Yes, I
a
think
lot of
the
people.
trend is definitely in that direction.
So I guess as a developer, that's something you have to look at, right? And go,
Exactly.
wow, do we
The
invest
trend's
all this
that
money
way,
in there?
why go against it?
Right. Yeah. But there's so much business this way, right? There's so much sitting out there.
Yes. I think like it's still a great product. You know, if you got lots of inventory, if
Yeah.
your requirements are a little bit bigger than like the standard business, lots of SKUs, big customer base, sometimes it's still can be the right solution. Your team know how to work it. So I think it's still going to take time for people to make the switch.
For sure. So the last one, and that is about, is there an advisor program, or do you have an advisor program that offers training or revenue share or anything similar to that?
Typically, we actually target accountants as our primary customers. So our plans are normally unlimited entities for your practice, which I think most accountants love,
Yeah.
because you can bring on your entire client base and you're not going to pay a fee per client.
Okay.
From there, we don't really resell it to the underlying client. So the accountant's kind of covering the cost of the tool
Yeah.
and using it for reporting, forecasting, practice oversight for the whole business.
Okay.
So we work a lot with typically the Xero advisors, QuickBooks Pro advisors, but nothing specifically around like a program there. Although, as I said earlier, high touch, so you're getting lots of training, onboarding, and
Right.
sort of like hand-holding to make sure you can implement Syft within your practice.
And I think the training out of all of those, the training I think is what most people like to see. I mean, some vendors have, well, you can get a revenue share or whatever. Usually the CPAs or the accounting professionals not really drawn to that.
Yes,
Right.
I think it's more around like, is this tool going to be helpful? Can
Yeah.
we save time and maybe even make money from it? By monetizing, reporting, forecasting,
Yeah.
that sort of.
All right, anything else you want to share with our audience?
Well, great to be on the ground here at XeroCon, and appreciate you having the chat with me.
Absolutely, and is it just Syft.com or SiftReporting.com?
SiftAnalytics.com.
SiftAnalytics.com. Very good.